Good afternoon to everyone. Just briefly setting the context, the relevance of gender in the workplace is a complex and fluid issue based on a lot of factors. While there have been significant advancements to bridge gender inequality and increase diversity in workplace in a focused manner rather than as a matter of chance, challenges remain. And the question is, are the challenges faced by women in the workplace gender neutral? Due to rapid change in technology, cultural changes, legislative changes, or we will still face challenges due to entrenched gender bias and does it continue to be relevant? We have with us today eminent honorable judges of the High Court of Delhi, senior advocates and general counsel who have broken the glass ceiling in their own right. We seek to draw upon their experiences, insights and suggestions so that the same can inspire, assure and guide the next generation of women lawyers who have faced similar issues or are facing new challenges. So, brief introduction of our eminent panelists. Our first panelist, Honorable Ms. Justice Rekha Palli. She studied in Lady Evans School and graduated from Hindu College. She obtained LLB degree from Campus Law Center. In her career as a lawyer, she has handled various matters of public importance in different branches of law, with specialization in service and company matters. She was appointed standing counsel to the High Court of Delhi, Employees State Insurance Corporation and Air Force School. She is also appointed as a senior panel counsel for Government of India. She has represented various universities and municipal corporations in the Supreme Court. She was designated as a senior counsel in 2015 and appointed as a judge of the High Court of Delhi on 15th May 2017. Our second panelist, Honorable Ms. Justice Tara Vidasta Ganji, studied at Sardar Patel Vidyalaya. She is a graduate of A.T. Shriram College and obtained her Bachelor of Law degree from Campus Law Center. She continued her education in law in the United Kingdom, receiving the British Chevening Scholarship, awarded by the British High Commission in 1999. She also pursued online diploma in international acquisitions and mergers at College of Law, UK. She is a certified mediator, and thereafter she attended an advanced international seminar on mediating effectively at Pepperdine Law School, USA. In her legal career, she has advised on matters in a wide range of legal areas, including property, inheritance law, divorce, etc. She has also assisted the Delhi High Court as an arbitrator, mediator in amicus curiae, third-party disputes. She was appointed as a judge of the High Court of Delhi on 18th May 2022. Our third panelist, Mr. Rukumar Chaturvedi, the senior advocate designated by the Honorable Supreme Court of India in January 2024. She registered as an advocate in 2000 and got qualified as an advocate on record in 2017. She secured a gold medal in LLM specializing in comparative federalism and administrative law, and she was an assistant professor in NLIU, Bangalore. She was also the additional advocate general for State of Madhya Pradesh Supreme Court. And our fourth esteemed panelist is Ms. Payal Khanna, Director of Legal Risk Management and Compliance for D.V. Shankar India Cluster, where she oversees the legal compliance and risk functions for one of the leading logistic providers in the country. She has a bachelor degree from Amity Law School and more than 15 years of diverse legal experience in various industries, including FMCG, automotive, and logistics. So, I would like to share some statistics and observations from a law firm perspective. Now, the gender parity indicators in SN companies, it shows that male-female ratio at our firm is 65 to 35 for the past 3 years. It's really increased from when I joined when there were only 2 women partners. Across levels, female ratio has increased by 6% in the last 4 years. Partner level, it has increased by 8%. Senior management level, it has increased by 31%. And over the past few years, at least 50% of the lawyers recruited on campus by the firm identify as women. 48% of our associates are women, and as of 2022, 7 women members make the partnership. Now, on the other hand, we continuously have these listening circles where some of the problems still faced by women are lack of mentoring, interrupted career trajectories. They tend to be subjected to stereotypes, have to work harder to prove themselves. So therefore, would it be correct to say that in emerging challenges faced by women, gender has no relevance? firstly, I would like to call upon my panelists to, throw some light on your personal experiences, how you navigated career advancement and leadership opportunities in law as a woman. If I may call upon Justice Wali to first share your experiences.
Yes, firstly, thank you for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to spend the afternoon with such lovely ladies who are all very, very keen to succeed in this profession, which was earlier known as a men's profession. Where at least 100 years ago, there was the first lady lawyer who had to get enrolled and to fight for her rights. Now coming to a question. Whether it has lost its relevance, the question of gender has lost its relevance. I mean, to decide this, it's a very complex question. There are two things. We have to first see where we have reached, and then realize what are the difficulties which we are facing. As far as our achievements are concerned, if you look at 50 years ago, even why for 50 years, even when we joined the bar, and when I joined the bench 8 years ago, there were just 3 lady judges. Now we have 9 of us. 9 of us is quite a handful for all these male judges to handle. That's what I can tell you. Now we find that difference itself comes. So we are making strides gradually, and all of them on their own merit. I mean, all of you are there. You can't say that none of them is working, or it's not that they're giving dates only. All of them are working individually in their own, to the best of their capability and delivery. So we have made a lot of strides, but to say that gender has lost its relevance will be a very, very far-fetched statement. There is still a bias, there is still a little resistance, even from clients and law firms. I don't know if Shatan will come in, she's given the figures. I don't know whether it's protected figures or whether it's the true ones. But even if they are true, it may be an exception. Other law firms, they may take a lot of girls, but to reach the top, how many are reaching is still a big question. It's not that nobody is reaching, but not the number who are joining. The number of girls who join the law firm and the number who reach the top. Maybe some of them leave on because of their own difficulties, because ultimately as women we all have to take care of a lot of things. Even today when I leave my house, I have to tell at least I will cook now. I don't have the time, I can only cook dozens now. I have to tell my staff what to cook for lunch, because food has to go for my husband also, my son also. So we have all those, maybe some girls did not reach the top because they were overawed by those responsibilities. But my advice to you, her question that it's lost its relevance, I will not say. But yes, it's now time we are being noticed, and if we are delivering, we are being given our credit. It's a little harder. Believe me, men are treating you with respect, but you have to make your place by working a little harder than men. If he's deciding 10 cases, if you decide 15, then it's people back. That's the way it works. So it is changing, no doubt.
Justice Kanji, so may I ask request to share your experiences in your journey, and also, according to you, what are some of the trade-offs that women are expected to make or develop?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you to SI and ladies for inviting me. Of course, I understand it's a ladies' organization, but I think we should firstly start including many more men into these organizations, because I'll start from there. We all know all our problems. It's the rest of them who need to know what are the difficulties and challenges. So, much like Justice Palli said, we've all had our journey, and being a first generation lawyer, obviously it wasn't easy. But having said that, the very fact that there are many more of us today sitting here means that it can be done. And if it can be done by any of us, there is nothing preventing all of you from doing it as well. So start with that assumption. Then you can do it. Start with that confidence, and then move along. You find that the path it is a little tougher, yes, I completely agree, than our male counterparts. But then, aren't women always the best at multitasking? I mean, I found that I had to multitask all the time. But then there were facilities, for example, for instance, from being pure litigation for the first few years. Once I had my children, I quickly switched to doing more firm work or corporate work, but from my home office. So picking up that the trade-off, there wasn't really a trade-off. It was just a slight switch, and I think also the better, because then I already had some litigation experience. Then I started to get some experience of contracts, leading to the M&A diploma and those things you sort of heard Vinita say earlier. So yes, there was a trade-off, but I think it was a trade-off for the better. Yes, I did sort of take a pause and step back, only to come right back with a different set of skills. So by all means, don't take it as something, don't take it as a setback, don't take it as something you want to trade off. You can do it, you just have to find what works for you and take it from there.
Thank you. So Justice Kanchan said that the right attitude, I think the adaptive nature that women generally have is very important. So Sarojama, do you think that participating in a part-time or flexible time, is what Anurag said, adopting a flexible work schedule, does it help or does it negatively impact women's career? And also, we share your experience also in that.
So I think first of all, I would thank the Center for organizing such a brilliant topic, which I was telling the system we do this, which every day is really fun, but it has to be taught for the field. And I think when I share about myself, that itself will give the answer in a way. Because I have got an unique journey in a way and very different, which is, I would always say that not positive negative, it has its own challenges as well as its own fantasies for me. So I'm a presentation lawyer, and my struggle started with the fact that the moment I said in the family I want to do law, and from there itself it was my first fight in between father and daughter, and from there I think I became fighter. That's what I want, and I won for fight to get admitted in law, but I did my LLB in a very small town, Gorakhpur, and my father was very clear, okay, I allow you to get graduated, but definitely not. I can't imagine to see you in the court. And I always wanted to be the wakil. And for me, I think about the families in last kind of share that, law means advocacy for me and the litigation and that's all, because in those cases we are neither told nor given exposure to understand that we have so many industries as I see today, that law graduation doesn't mean you have to go and sit in the court and do some work which your father perhaps not liking. So my challenges were there, and then I did my LLM, and then academia happened to me, and my first employment was teaching in NLS Bangalore, and having the full-time employment in a middle class family was like, oh, you got everything, now you don't have to think anything beyond that. And then again the second fight, no, after 2 years I realized I am doing great, and I still enjoy academia. I'm very much in charge. So every day I get the question, why you left, why? Every time I answer, no, I love that, but I realized that it is the real life, I want to go to real life. And that's where I decided to again switch to litigation, and here the challenges come. So I became mother, and my daughter gave me a beautiful opportunity to take second chance in the life. She was very bad allergic in Bangalore weather, and I wanted to run to Delhi, and I thought the challenges put forward to me, I made it as an opportunity to live my childhood dream, and I decided to come to litigation. So when we are talking about the break, I started litigation when I had 8-month-old child at home, and that's where the answer comes was the best employer I would have thought for academia. That if I lead analyst and I come, I just want to do for practice and nothing else. And after teaching interpretation, tax, etc., I knew Supreme Court was the place for me to begin. So, in third generation lawyers, my first experience in court, unlike today's privileged young generation, after becoming advocate, education, and everything, I saw court for the first time. So all trials, errors, challenges, little happiness, success, everything is my own. So I have made my mistakes, I have made my judgmental errors, but overall, everything has come as the acknowledgement after I got senior designation. So today I think that everything was worth all sleepless nights, having small child at home, traveling after leaving her in daycare and then coming, and then just by my own peer group in women. That I want to highlight. No man has asked me, oh, such a young child who left at home and why are you in the court? But every second colleague would have asked, how could you do that? How your husband permitted you to do? And I said, who did you permit? I mean, we had never asked that question. So the problem begins where we start judging our peer group. The problem begins where we define the role that women is only responsible for raising the child. So the dropout, the difference which is enrollment rate in the law college and then watching either at bar or bench, if we are less in number, it's not only the opportunity has, and if I would have taken out, I would like to talk about that later on. But then major is at our personal side, which is we ourselves, we give stat to ourselves that we have to do everything. No, the responsibility has to be shared. So when people say, you've got a fantastic husband, I always say, he's a normal husband and a normal gentleman, because he does share the parenting responsibility. From the time I was a child, every week is every roster and causes. We synergize together and we go. So I think it's all about ourselves. Litigation has the flexibility, we can start from anywhere, and that's what works positively as well negatively, depending upon which kind of industry we have opted. So while I say litigation, I think it's a fantastic for a woman from where I think it, because I was not working in any senior chamber. I was not asked to sit for 8 TV conferences. I was my own boss. But at the same time, when I have exposure to law firms or in-house, I think it would be different with my other families would throw light on. Thank you.
That I also agree with us. In litigation, you have that flexibility, especially if you're on your own. I am one of those who became a hero when my son was 6 months old. And becoming an advocate on record in those days was so tough, but it was so easy. You would just have to feed him, let him sleep, and you would keep studying. It was the simplest thing to do. I mean, somebody asked me, how did you manage to do that with a 6 month old child? So litigation, there I agree with her. It depends on circumstances.
Coming to you, Payal, firstly, I would like to share your journey. And also, what Asma was saying, our organization, you can see there's a gender parity in hiring. And how does the sense of parity or lack of change with the organization representation of women in hiring?
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you so much. Wonderful to see such a big group, and of course, diverse group, a lot of men also sitting there. Just sitting a few of my other co-panelists, frankly, I was slightly privileged. I'm a second generation lawyer. My parents are already very well known, some of them already practiced with the co-panelists. Yeah, so I think it's like, first of all, a very emotional moment to actually co-chair with ma'am here, because they were one of my very close friends of my mother. So I was slightly privileged because I always saw my parents practicing on courts. My mother was also, started off her career in courts after I was born. My father encouraged her to get into this. So, in a way, in my home, I never saw that bias. Obviously, it came very naturally to me after my law school. Of course, I have to get into law. But I did practice in a couple of years in the law firm, but I still decided to go in house. So that's where I said that of course there was a very privilege that I got, but as a woman, maybe the kind of upbringing I had, it still made me a choice to take something different. You know, and what triggered that, and of course, I think going back to one question, what triggered I did? Of course, way back when I started, of course, 17 years back, I was into a law firm in a very good position, doing well. I was, of course, a senior lawyer, but what made me move in-house was purely a personal decision. Of course, I also was a young mother, my daughter was born, and that's where I felt that, you know, maybe when I move in-house, you know, I will rather have a more flexible, comfortable, you know, because of the fact that you're working in an in-house job. And that was, of course, a misnomer, because when I went in-house and I joined a big organization like PepsiCo, I started my career there, and I was a junior lawyer, and I grew up the ranks there. And I think, personally, I felt, one was, of course, when I started off was personal reasons. Obviously, when I look back, I think it was the best decision that I made. Because there, I was in an environment where a lot of men, in fact, supported me, mentored me, and made me pull up the ranks. Because I was completely exposed to a corporate environment, not prepared for it. In-house was just picking up way back in 2011 when I just moved in-house. It was not so lucrative and not so prominent. A lot of lawyers said, why are you moving to in-house? You know, you're already doing good in the thing. So I think there when I moved in, of course, I was not very confident whether, you know, I was, because of my personal reasons, whether I was making a good decision for my career in the future. Because there were a lot of men, my family and everybody supporting me. But now when I see, as you said, about what I see in the organization level, I think it's still there. You know, it's still there. Because somewhere, I think from an in-house or an organization perspective, there are concerted efforts to say that, you know, we need a diversity target. And many times you do the hiring because you have a target to be met. And when you join the organization, first time the notion is you're there because of the target. You know? So how you break that notion, navigate your stakeholders around you, make your place that you are there because you are competent, you have moved where you are. Because I moved the industry, I moved from an FMCG, still a good female ratio there, logistics, again a highly male-dominated industry because all male. I was in fact the first woman in the management team, all members of male. So this is another experience. And then now moved logistics, again a highly male-dominated. So there obviously you need to make efforts, you know, that yes, we need more women. So I think from an organization perspective, of course, there is gender diversity target, but when you get there, you still need to prove yourself. I think that's something still there at the back of the mind. And of course, I think, when I look back, it's been 1 year, I recently joined this organization 1 year back. But when I look back, I will see that you still need to make efforts to prove from where you come, especially when you are young in your age, and especially you are sitting in positions where you are much more senior people, so how you sort of not say too much, but also make efforts only through your hard work. I think that's what I still feel at the organization level, you still need to make that some more efforts.
Thank you, Rashi, for that explanation. Now, India ranks 135 among the total of 143 countries with global gender gap index of 2022. And what Mr. Sri also mentioned, that in the lower judiciary, there is a larger number of women entering the judiciary. You know, it's just the number keeps getting reduced as we move up. And even in the state bar councils, there's a study from 21 states and union territories, we find that only 2.04% of elected representatives in the state bar councils are women. So, typically, from the study of the Giddy Center for Law and Policy, there's a significant drop in the percentage of women judges in the level of district judges. So, what according to you are the reasons for that, and what are the institutional reforms or policy interventions necessary to improve gender representation and attention?
There, the question is, you have to have a national school. You can't just make a lady or a judge just because a high court judge just because she's a lady. We need to have ultimately when you go to court. I mean, I still remember I was a very young counsel. I'll just give you an example, very funny. There was a senior counsel waiting in front of one court. I am not even concerned judge. I just said, she's a very sweet lady. We don't have to make her a vow. We need a judge who has to pass orders. So what, and that is something which has stuck in my mind, that you don't, when you're in court, you don't need to, this, as now we are having more and more young girls who are entering the profession. That is why the subordinate judiciary at the level of metropolitan magistrate and civil judges we have. District judges are naturally fewer, but as I just said in the beginning, High Court judges, we were 3 in one point of time. In fact, 3 was also a big number for that time. Now we are 9, and at one stage we were about 12. In this stage, you have to all keep working, and as I said, we all have, the other thing is you have to mentor each other. We have to stand for each other. Because it's always said that empowered women can only empower other women. If you are not wanting to mentor others, mentor your co-colleagues, then it's not going to work. The men are very happy in their own space. You are making your place, but please mentor others. So this will take some time, but I am hopeful in the next 10 years, maybe men will have to start asking. Another 10, 15 years, you will all overshadow. You are all so competent. When you see girls come and argue, we see that the way they prepare and the way they know where to stop. Some men come to court are very, very loud for no reason. I am saying that to my students. For no reason they are raising their voice. So you have to make your case, and I am sure all of you will go with time.
I'll just jump in a little bit. I did a couple of things. Let me give you a few more. The Supreme Court currently only has 3 sitting women judges. We have, I think, in a few months or maybe in a year or two, our first female chief justice of the country. So, for the High Court, we all India, we are only about 8%. 11.5. Yeah, I mean, 22%, possibly, yeah, 23 India. So, the point is, in Delhi, of course, they're much higher, some cities are higher, others don't have any representation. But it's because of the fact that, as I said, there is in the school. In 25 years ago or 30 years ago, when I joined the profession, there were a few of us. Today it's more than 50%. So it is going to change. It is inevitable. So we have to understand that. So those women here have a much better opportunity than we did. So please take that opportunity and move forward.
After saying that, in the future, maybe there's a panel of men sitting here saying the same thing, what challenges they are facing after yes.
I can take that. How do we get our chances?
Thank you. So, Sarma, you spoke about, biases and like how the minister would ask, how to believe each other. Are there unconscious biases in the profession which can hamper?
Yeah, so there are a number of unconscious biases, and there are some actually privileges which they know that it is bias and still it is imposed upon us. So, for example, there are two fronts in every person's life, especially women, but one is women and one is gentlemen. Women don't get affected with that, women get. So our personal life does have a reflection on our professional growth majorly, which doesn't happen when it comes to gentlemen. Now, no, because gentlemen, from the beginning itself, it is expected that women is supposed to take care of home domestic responsibilities and then go to work. Now, this narrative is changing. I'm not saying it still exists, but it's still there. And that's where the first bias starts from the beginning when we leave home. Now, if we start making those biases we have created around us, and then we need to come to court. So when it comes to court, totally my condition is focused on litigation. I'm not talking about other industries. I mean, law gives entry in other industries, but I'm not talking about that. When it comes to performance in the courtroom, there is neither any benefit nor any discrimination. Actually, in performance, there is neither. As I have not experienced in my career, and that's where I could be swear, but I tend to read. What happens? In fact, we are more benefited when it comes to gentlemen about the courtroom performance. Having less women in number, if a woman is properly prepared and presenting a case, we take no time in getting recognized. We definitely get acknowledged if we are performing. We do perform often, but we can't deny that there are other sides as well, like Bahu and all. I mean, every kind of women professionals we also have. So again, I put in my experience, when I came to bar, it took time for me to break those prejudices and biases against me that she has come from an elite law school, from IHR teaching, and this poor girl, perhaps because of her husband, she has relocated. So to make this accepted that no, I am here because I am a serious professional. I want to develop myself in the litigation. That bias I had to break, that I'm not here because of my personal life. I'm here because I want to be advocate, I want to practice. And that's why I decided to give a first year exam, because I wanted to actually prove. So somebody again referred that we have to put extra effort to show that yes, we are serious enough, we are sincere enough, we are performers. So before we get opportunity to perform, we have to break many prejudices. One, that we are sincere, serious professionals, and then the another bias which I have said, and I am thinking, when it comes to women, senior masters, a bias is attacked in everybody's mind, especially from client side, and when I say client, I'm including in-house and law firms and everyone, that only a loud person can represent the case well, and the loud means a gentleman. So one, I don't believe, and Mark has rightly said, your voice doesn't determine how effectively you are presenting your case. Your preparation, your thorough research. There are two ways of argument, persuasive and aggressive. You don't have to be unnecessarily aggressive. Sometimes that's required when other side is unfairly dominating you because you are the woman. I have experienced that side as well. And of course, I had to face it in the required manner. So that kind of biases from peer group as well as more in getting opportunity, we have and we still have this we need to grab. In due course, things are changing positively. So all those biases and prejudices are getting broken slowly, but it will take time. I'm sure about it.
Let me just tell you as a judge, the louder you shout, the less you will expect about it.
I always
Don't shout.
Yes.
You need to just be well prepared.
Yes.
Thank you for that tip, ma'am. So, Payal, just there are legislation now that further course, but how far do you think the legislative measures which have already been passed and like the women's reservation bill which was in the pipeline, how far do you think they help in alleviating that?
Honestly, I think what all we need is a mindset change. I think, of course, these bills and other organizations or special efforts can help, but till the time our mindset or culture evolves, that is something very natural. Why do we have to say that a woman versus a man? These days, I think we can do anything, provided we are given an opportunity. So, of course, these legislations and any sort of agendas or any sort of specific efforts can, of course, support. But till the time the mindset doesn't evolve, it doesn't think that it's very normal for a woman to do this. It is not just about doing her housework and also about taking a job, maybe not just for a legal profession, but I think organizations, many sales jobs, right? We always have this very common topic that when it comes to field sales roles, we don't have enough women to take these roles. why. So, I mean, but then we also have many situations where women have done it and on, but still a mindset is, can we do it? So I think that is, is more important. Then of course these legislations and these specific topics can always help promote that.
Thank you. Coming to stereotypes, there's a stereotype that women are emotional and nurturing, while men are expected to be stoic and unemotional, leading to perception that women may be less competent or rational in high-pressure situations. So, ma'am, in your experience as judges, does this such a stereotype cause a barrier to a career protection for women, or do you see these traits make a difference in the judiciary?
Not at all. I think times are now, we are much stronger women. In fact, speaking for myself, I think a lot of ways I will say I'm stronger emotionally, and even when there's a lot of stress around, I will smile to my judges go. And a lot of men will say, oh, there's so much work, I'm going mad. I mean, those stereotypes are at least changing in the judiciary. And I'm sure it will change in the legal profession too. There was a time when women were seen as being only emotional and men were not, but now we are definitely seeing a change of reversal of roles, and this has to be, we have to groom our children like that. We have to stop telling our daughters you have to be quiet. It's only, so it is changing. I'm sure whoever the young mothers sitting there, they're not bringing up their daughters like this, that no, your daughters will see you grow up, and if you're not so in at least in our course, we don't see that person. I think that's my experience.
Thank you. And just in my experience, Sarma also said that, women have to work harder, and I think this talk about it, that women have to be more competent than those to succeed. So in your experience, how prevalent is the bias of holding women to higher standards of competence and performance than men, which in a way leads to higher scrutiny and criticism for mistakes or failures in women that may be overlooked in men?
The first thing I'd like to say about bias is the fact that we need to recognize that it's there, it's prevalent, and do whatever you can to overcome it. There has been, I think initially at starting off, definitely you're looked at, you're scrutinized a little bit more. But if you are lucky enough to be in a good environment with a good senior or a good mentor, very quickly that woman bias will change into competence. So once they start recognizing that you're competent, that you're putting in the hard work, that will change. So acknowledge it, then move towards that. And just as I really like to say this to the younger women. I find sometimes women use gender to get away with things. Oh, I need to go. Just don't do that. See, one hand, if you do that, then don't blame people for having biases. So just work hard and be competent. So don't let it come back and bite you at a later stage.
Thank you so much. Another stereotype is that men are more suited for leadership. Said that women will be loud, and when women are seen as less capable of leadership. What is your view on that?
Yes, so here I would take from actually what actually gets said. So when it comes to talking about women, we have to distinguish two things. One is opportunity, and another is performance. In performance, we are not taking equality because we know we are better. And we are better, that's why we all are sitting here or everybody is coming up. And in fact, there are different segments where women is preferred because everybody knows and also the accepted fact that we are competitively more sincere when it comes to doing research, challenging things. When it comes to taking from front, there are still prejudices, but which is getting changes. Now, getting the opportunity to lead is missing, and I think it's missing in every industry. not only law. I think this gender gap is everywhere. Now, I just give you an example. One of my sister-in-law is in very big company. He said, whenever I come to India to do meetings with the directors, I'm the only woman in the boardroom. So she was talking about corporate houses. She was not talking about legal only. So when it comes to leadership, I think women, it's not that women are not being trusted on merit. I think somewhere the threat is there because we are performers, and if we get opportunity, we will definitely make them sit here and discuss about men's rights very soon. And that's where we get less opportunity. Because I have not come across women in our profession, especially in RD council position also. Everybody, whatever gigs they get, they perform. And most of the time, we do get relief, in fact, better than gentlemen because it's all about EQ. We know everyone doesn't make sense. We know what is coming up and how we need to respond. So we are more in that way. We know that communication does not mean what I am speaking and with what voice I am speaking. It's about how it is reaching to the ear. So I think that's where the leadership trust is not missing, but leadership opportunities are missing.
Thank you. Payal, I think the general theme has been, and I think we faced overcome a lot of challenges. Main challenge is motherhood, I feel. I mean, children inspire us to do more, children inspire us to be more, become more organized, and, in fact, succeed in the profession. But, again, there's a stereotype like what man always says. Is there that women will prioritize their careers and men won't? Or is there a change that you see that, it's just the view changing in modern India, or women expected to play a more balanced role than men?
Of course, I think modern women, and of course, not possible with the support of a partner. I've lived that and still living. I'm a very supportive husband who, of course, takes care of the things at home, and of course, I have to slog long hours in a corporate leadership position. I have to travel. So obviously, I think when it starts with your partner, spouse, who understands, appreciates that you need to play a balanced role, I think it all starts with that. I'm not saying that it is not there, but I think it is very normal right now, especially for modern women, young modern women who are in a leadership position, that they need to give more effort at work if they want to succeed. It's not about man versus woman. The responsibility of the role, responsibility of the position that you take, right? You're not only, especially to for leadership position. So you just not, like I'm in a people, but of course I have other things to also manage in the organization, like mentoring my own team, what's happening in the organization, being abreast to what's happening around. So obviously I need to spend more effort, naturally, because as a profession, because there's so much happening around us, and we always talk about being relevant, being aware of what's happening in the legal profession around us. So I think it's very natural, to play a balanced role. And I think even for men, because nowadays, I think from a corporate perspective, even men holding senior positions also have to, prioritize their time more for their family work. So I think it's, the way I look at it is that if you make it very normal, there's requirements of current environment, then obviously it's like a balancing position, which we all need to strive for. Thank you so much.
So, just quickly, for all the panelists, you've given us so much insight and your suggestions and experiences that actually been inspirational. But just as a last word of advice to the young people, what would you advise on, getting over obstacles or even pursuing emotional obstacles?
See, as far as the advice is concerned, I would always say that when you're just like you're celebrating Women's Day, celebrate, but also remember that you have to work with the team. You have to keep working. Don't treat these men or think that they are your enemies. When you're working, if you work with that person, you will give them another opportunity to treat you with that. Please work harder. You need to prove yourself a little tougher. I think it's a little more tougher for women to prove themselves because if you make a mistake, like she just said, Nita just said, you make a mistake, you will be noticed, oh, she couldn't do it. This is not meant for her. There you have to be harder, you have to work harder, prove yourself. But please don't go with any notion that it's a world. Ultimately, the world has to coexist. You both, all of you have to coexist. So treat men as your friends, but stand for each other when there is a need. That's my advice. And you must work, but treat the men also as your friends.
Certainly keep in mind that we are equal, start from there, and then taking it forward, celebrate each one of us. Let the women celebrate each accomplishment of a fellow, a peer, a colleague. Talk about it. Promote women. I mean, I don't want to repeat what my panelists have said, but I just want to add to it. So, I mean, organizations like this and programs like this, these are very important because to make people aware that there are issues, but we are also moving forward with them. So I would say celebrate and promote is the key word. Thank you so much.
First, I would about what my honorable co-panelists have said, both, and then I would add. One, feminism doesn't mean anti-men. It is always about accepting that we both are different and respecting the differences, and this is what we are also asking for. Second, we always prepare when it comes to gender. Gender has no relevance in performance, I would say, in psychology. So gender is relevant when it comes to opportunity, remember that, and then stand with each other wherever you could. I mean, that's what I do. If I can stand with any women, any girl at any stage, I do that because that's like giving back to my society, my own young age. And performance is always how you perform. Then gender has no role at all. So prepare, celebrate yourself, first believe in yourself. And I would also like to add one thing. Change the start from wherever we are. So whoever is at leading position or having own number like we always should think of work-life balance because that is where women move. So if we get that and provide that, let's have both. Whatever we have missed, let's provide to the next generation. So that we have to do, and it will start not only by doing something special for women. That's definitely somewhere required. Also, we have many cities also there. Give them flexibility. Ask them to take sick leave if their wife is unwell. The reminding themselves that sharing household is shared responsibility. So we have to do being protective to women colleagues as well as reminding our gentlemen colleagues as well that this is not only women's responsibility. We should do our best, and I think we all will grow. Thank you.
Yeah, I think most of it has been covered, but I think one thing which has helped me to sort of manage sometimes a challenging time is also asking for support. Many times we women, we end up doing everything by ourselves. We feel as if we ask for support, we consider that being judged and all that. So, but I think it's okay. If you don't know anything, if you're being struck, ask for support, ask for help. I think their time may take challenges, many obstacles will obviously we just go by. So I think if that small change we make in ourselves that it's okay to make a mistake, it's okay to be stuck into many things and asking for help, I think that's one part and we can sort of solve and make our lives too simpler.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So with that, I think we've come to the end of our session. So any kind of questions? No. Maybe two questions. Short one.
I have a question to all of them, especially Justice Salim, who is the mother of her son. So, So my question is the society ready to take a step back? Now, when I say by a step back, I mean where the onus of raising the family and the kids and running the household lies on the woman's shoulder, and the man is always seen as the bread earner. Now, a society where man takes a sabbatical to raise his kids, are we ready for that? Now, as a mother, giving the right, are we giving the right upbringing to our sons to take a sabbatical when needed? So is it the all the stereotype starts with us raising our kids and us the daughter and the children? So am I giving the right upbringing to my daughter to ensure that she has rights, or does she need to have permission to having a supporting husband to ensure that she's tomorrow qualified enough to work, and my son to learn the kitchen work also?
Okay, so address it. See, I have a son and a daughter both, and my daughter fortunately been married for more than 2 years. So I think I can take pride in that. I brought up my children with this feeling that they are both equal, and my daughter doesn't have to take any permission. She can walk in. She just has to say, I have offered a date, I am leaving a date. I'm going with my driver, and I have come back. But she's responsible, she'll tell it. But she doesn't have to take permission, and this is what my son has done. He's seen that his sister is not taking, his mother is not taking permission. So I think I have tried my best to do that, and that's what I said. The responsibility is with all of us. We have to change it. If we can't change it radically, we have to take the gradual steps to change that. And only then we will be able to have a much more complete society.
I was tempted to jump in because my son's constant refrain is, Mama, my daughter gets it much easier. She gets much more freedom. He says, you always telling me not to do something which you never tell her anything. And that's very important, because the point is that he in any case has inherent privileges. So it's important for him to understand she's got many more. So yes, it does begin with us. And yes, we have to teach our sons that women are, they don't excel, like I said, exactly the opposite. So we need to start from our children and the people around us.
On that note, I want to thank all the young panelists.
A very good afternoon to my esteemed panelists. So a top female CEO once said that women don't help women now, and are less open to constructive feedback from female colleagues. Do our panelists agree with that thought?
Which is why I said promote and encourage. That's what we need to do. Whether we agree or disagree, let's listen to it anyway.
Right.
And that's the way forward.
Thank you.
Empowered women, empower women. That's whether it's empowered women will empower women. That's the key.
And we should move towards the gender has no relevance to society. Thank you so much.
On that note, I'd like to thank all the panelists.